Alright everybody, what is up? Yet another scrim going on, as obviously there's not too much else happening in the world of competitive Han right now, so we will have to make do with some scrims. And we got Reason Gaming here taking on Team Shrek is Love, as one of the better teams in Han, no doubt, finishing 4th in the CIC Pro League Cycle 1 event. Takes on a team that's perhaps looking to join and jump up to that Pro League in the next cycle. I'm not exactly sure how close they are in terms of the overall standings, but Team Shrek is Love, definitely I think one of the top 10 teams and in contention for that top 6. We'll see if they can do something about Team Excellent disbanding, perhaps Team USA not looking so good. Or The Last of Us, excuse me, Team USA. That's an old team. Anyway, we are moving forward here in the draft, so let's talk about the bans. Torture and Swiftblade being taken out here by Imbaboy, so recognizing the power of Torture and the power of Swiftblade, who I think is gaining a lot of credibility as a competitive pick, and for good reason. He's doing quite well in a lot of these games, and definitely a hero that you're going to want to address because he has the potential to be very impactful in these games. Kronos and Drunken Master are going to be banned out by Cluckmuck as they remove the constantly banned Suicide in Kronos and the very versatile Drunken Master. I'm starting to get to the point where I wonder if Kronos is actually all that good. I know pretty much everybody says, oh, he's broken as all hell, and we've seen him basically do that, so I can understand the sentiment, but we just don't see him enough. He's banned every single game. And I'd kind of like to see what happens if he actually made it through a draft and got picked up by somebody. So, not going to be the case here, obviously, but one can always wish. Legion side going to finish off their first round of picks with Puppet Master, Engineer, and Magnus. So, likely going to see that NG Magnus middle lane and Puppet Master in the solo or in the short lane. Could see either a duel or a solo, depending on whether they want to run a jungler. This is Reason Gaming, so my expectation is that we'll see a second support. But hey, they can throw a curveball and pick up a jungler, then have Zane run that Suicide. Saint Rock's their typical jungle player. So we're going to see Adro most likely on that Engineer, with Probusk on Magnus and Imbaboy playing Puppet Master. To be fair, actually, we could see Adro on another support hero if they choose to go for something a little less aggressive, a little more babysit oriented. So I shouldn't say that for sure Adro would be playing that Engineer, but Adro, quite a good NG player. And regardless, Hellborn have picked up Rhapsody, Keeper of the Forest, and Kraken, so I like to see the Keeper pick, as he's getting a little bit more love lately, and for a good reason, I think. Awesome pusher, of course, and does very well in team fights, has that Suicide or jungle option. Should be picked up more often. Kraken and Rhapsody picked up all sorts of times, as that is, I think, the strongest support hero and one of the more versatile heroes in the game. Kraken just so damn powerful. He does nothing badly, and he does a few things quite well. Transitions pretty well to the late game, team fights well, ganks well, so a hero that complements pretty much any lineup. Bans are finished as well, as this thing's moving pretty quickly. Wretched Hag, Dr. Repulsor, and Moon Queen going to be taken out here by Imbaboy, so targeting his bans on those short laners, assuming of course that Kraken will not be occupying that role, which is a possibility for him, but a little bit unlikely. Most likely going to be either in the mid or the Suicide role, depending on what Keeper of the Forest does, whether or not he's in the jungle. And if he is going to be the jungle, obviously Kraken a little bit more likely to be the Suicide. But a lot of short laners removed here from the for the Hellborn side, as of course Legion have already picked up Bears and Puppet Master. Hellborn, meanwhile, banning out Empath, Ophelia, and Rally, so removing a second support option, a little more babysit-oriented support, as well as the Ophelia jungle, and the Rally as the mid or Suicide type option. But it will be the Pharaoh to get picked up here, and that'll be going into Zane's hands almost certainly. So the Solstice pick likely means we'll be seeing a jungler, yes. That is going to be Saint Rox's hero, and the lanes for Legion side at this point are fairly predictable, as we've got Engineer Magnus in the middle lane, Solstice in the woods, Puppet Master as the solo bottom, and Pharaoh in the Suicide. Definitely all strong lanes, and lots of kill potential, especially in that mid, as well as the Solstice gank potential for both mid and bottom lane. And of course, Zane, a very, very good Pharaoh player, so no doubt it's going to be looking for him to be making some pretty big plays this match. Hellborn side will finish off their draft with Pestilence and Cersei, so we'll see how Cersei does here. I'm a little bit iffy on her. If she can get out of the laning phase, she's stupid strong, and a hero that you have to address You have to do way too much to aggress as a support. And really they have two heroes like that in Rhapsody and Cersei. So two support heroes that are going to draw a lot of attention from the farmers and the damage dealers here on the Legion side. And obviously that's very, very good if you have a lineup that's like, hey, go try to kill the heroes that don't actually do anything in these fights and leave the Kraken, the Keeper, and the Pestilence alone. The thing that I'm concerned about, though, is all three of these farmers are melee, and none of them are particularly late game oriented. They don't do too much with farms, so whoever's in that short lane is going to be nice for them, but it's not going to be hugely important. It is going to be Pestilence. I'm not particularly surprised about that. We fairly often see teams try to run this pesty carry. I'm not a fan of it. I don't see why you'd pick that up. I know a lot of stuff was banned out, but a lot of stuff wasn't. Soul Suitor was available. Dark Lady was available. I don't know. Plenty of other things. I think Soul Suitor would have been my pick with the Keeper of the Forest and Kraken already picked up. That's a lot of lockdown. Soul Burst would have been much, much easier to get off. And so with the Demon Hands, for that matter, they already have plenty of CC tools. They don't really need Pestilence on top of that. And they've got, Portal Key Initiation from Kraken. They've got Portal Key Initiation from Keeper of the Forest. They don't need another PK on Pestilence. They don't need his presence. This does not feel like a hero that does a lot to complement this lineup. But we'll see how he does. I'm not a fan. And hey, I think I've made that pretty clear. Zane going to drop a ward here. We'll get spotted out a little bit by Pestilence, but there shouldn't be too much coming of this. Pestilence could throw a stun, but it's not going to do much. Yeah, a couple auto attacks here, as well as the stun damage, but that's going to be it. And Zane's just like, yeah, alright, now you've done that to me, I really don't care. Looks like we might be setting up for a tri-lane up here. That would surprise me. No, actually it wouldn't. Never mind. Because Kraken very often solo. So I like this even less now if they're going to tri-lane. Oh god. Every single time I forget this. Every single time. Okay, good. They're not going to try lane, but I'm not sure how much I like that either. Kraken, not really a hero that needs a dual lane, and not really a hero that benefits from it too much. So we'll see what Cersei's job here is, but this Hellborn lineup is something that I'm the more I look at it, the less I like it. Top lane, Rhapsody and Pestilence will be able to zone out fairly effectively. He's basically going to get nothing, which is nice, but it's a suicide. That's sort of what you'd expect. In the meantime, if they bring Cersei over here, then Zane's going to get even less, but now they're wasting both supports up here, basically just to box out this Pharaoh. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, Kraken's not going to do super well because Puppet Master and Engineer actually are running here, so that's a little interesting. But switching it up, here is Reason Gaming, as they choose to run the Puppet dual lane. And this is not completely unexpected. It happens every so often, actually. Engie taking a fair bit of damage, as he gets some aggression from the tower and from Kraken. And it seems like they're basically just going to do as much as they can with this pull, try to get some CS off of the creeps, which will be good, but it still seems like a bit of a waste. I really would have preferred, I think, a jungle Keeper of the Forest and a different suicide option, or a different mid option. That would have been even better with the suicide Kraken. Actually, instead of Cersei, they could have picked up a short laner. That would have made the most sense, because then you can mid the Pestilence, suicide the Kraken, jungle the Keeper of the Forest, and that would have been really good, because then you'd have a dual lane Pesty Rhapsody middle, and that would have been fantastic. Bottom lane, meanwhile, Keeper, speaking of him, getting a lot of damage down. We'll see if Magmas can land a stun here. He might go for a random one. No, she doesn't even have mana, so won't be able to do that. Keeper of the Forest popping a health pot, obviously very needed. Middle lane, Rune will be grabbed by Cersei here as Engineers are looking to pick it up, but obviously unable to do so. So we'll see how this works out, but at this point, I really don't like the Hellborn's lineup in terms of picks, and I don't really like their hero lane decisions either. To be completely honest, actually, middle lane Engineer need to get caught out here as aggro falls, thanks to the gank coming in from Mr. Rhapsody, or Mrs. Rhapsody. Is that actually a male rap character? I think so. No, it's not. It's a girl. Never mind. Her weird-ass accordion. Gonna grab this refreshment rune, and that'll obviously help with the mana a little bit, as well as the small amount of health she was missing. Top lane Zane can go to the side and grab some boots. That's nice for him. So he's being boxed out pretty effectively here, 160 GPM compared to Pestilence that's at 300, so no surprise there. At the same time, Magnus in the bottom lane is at the 340 gold per minute mark, so he's leading the game right now, and Puppet Master in the middle, out farming Kraken 267 to 200 gold per minute. So both bottom lane and middle lane going substantially in favor of the Legion side, plus of course they have the jungle versus the non-jungle. Zane up top going to be in a lot of trouble, and he will fall. So, another kill coming out there for the Hellborn side, as it is 2-0. But they're still not taking a substantial resource lead in either gold or experience. And that's largely because, of course, they're losing mid, they're losing bot, and they've got a dual support strat compared to a jungle strat. Although at this point, Rhapsody's actually out-farming the Solstice. So Saint Rock's not having the best time here, but should get going. Meanwhile, Kraken taking a ton of damage, and actually Adro will fall yet again. DD Root on Rhapsody, and she is just hitting like a truck. Kraken, though, is quite low, and he could be in some trouble. That was good. Puppet Show goes down here, and Solstice is going to come in with the stun as well, so this is going to get a turn for Adro, for the Legion side on the Clock Muck. Well done. And St. Rock's obviously coming in from the side with a stun, and they clean up the kill onto the support. Finally providing an answer to the 3 kills that had come out against them. Magnus in the bottom lane looking to do some damage to these creeps, perhaps push the tower. But obviously won't get too much tower damage down. Volcanic Touch doing some work, helping to kill that creep wave, and therefore do some damage to Keeper as well. Top lane Pestilence, and Pharaoh continuing to go out a little bit. No real support there for Pesty in terms of other heroes, and support heroes for that matter. But obviously has the level advantage now, definitely has the farm advantage, as he is the highest farmer in the game. And therefore Zane having to be a little bit careful here. Once again, despite the hero kills being slightly in favor of the Hellborn side, the resources are relatively even thanks to the fact that the Legion is generally out farming their opponents. Middle lane Adro perhaps can be in some more trouble. Actually, Puppet Show goes down, but there's the staccato stuns. Kegston will actually push Keeper Kraken forward. He'll take the charge, and that'll finish off Adro once again. So I'm not sure if Adro really should be as aggressive as he is. Meanwhile, in bottom lane, I'm completely missing stuff like the Eruption going down on top of Keeper of the Forest, and that will grab the kill. So Legion side losing Keeper or Engineer in the middle lane, but picking up a kill on the Keeper in bot. Not bad. And Imberboy still farming quite well, as he has just crossed the 300 gold per minute mark, compared to Kraken, who's at 260. Middle lane off to the side, Rhapsody coming in here, looking for something. Release the Kraken is available, and Imberboy just going to drop. So, this Rhapsody, obviously not really a trial anymore, as Rhapsody has spent most of her time in the middle, and no doubt unneeded in top. Some free farm going to Magnus there as Keeper of the Forest loses some minions. Adro actually timing out here, so we'll see what that turns into. In the meantime, Keeper of the Forest, Puppet Master going to drop once again in the middle lane. So 6-2 hero kills advantage for the Hellborn, and this is interesting. There doesn't seem to be a pause going down. They're just sort of using Adro here. Odd. But the Hellborn are keeping up the aggression, and they're... There we go. Finally, we go to the pause. Anyway, the Hellborn are keeping up the aggression, but... which is great for them. Still not really sure I like their team. Cersei is invisible here off to the side. You know, it's easy because Reason's a team we know pretty well, and they're definitely highly rated, so it's easy to just say, oh, they're going to win this game, and to be frank, they probably are. I don't know. I make a point of not looking at the results of a match before I cast it, even though this is a replay cast. But at the same time, independent of player skill, I don't like Hellborn's draft. I don't like their They're so mid-game oriented, and they're going to try to push. I mean, they must be trying to push early. Like, that has to be their plan. It can't not be their plan. They've got the Keeper of the Forest. They have the Rhapsody. Actually, by the way, Keeper of the Forest Rhapsody is an extremely potent combination, so I do like that. But you know, they have the Kraken. They have the team fight. So they're looking to do stuff like this, like take down this top tower at 8 minutes into the game. The issue is, are they going to be able to pen Reason in enough, and are they going to be able to deal with the counter aggression that Reason can put up? They have the Eruption. They've got the Solstice Ultimate. They have fantastic initiation with Pharaoh. They've got NG Field, and even Puppet Master can do quite a lot in these team fights with all of his CC tools. So Hellborn definitely have better push. Hellborn may have better team fight. I'm not convinced that they do. It's going to depend on execution highly. A lot of it's also going to depend on Cersei, who she takes over and what she's able to do. The gank, no doubt, in favor of the Legion side. So if Hellborn group up and push early, you know, they may have more of a chance than I'm acting. Like, meanwhile, in the middle lane, Kraken going to take a kickstone here on top of Puppet Show, but that's going to be it. He will charge away. So a little bit of damage coming out there, but not too much. And Hellborn now are up in gold. Not so much in experience, but they're definitely taking the advantage in terms of the farm. And that's something they need to do. They need to come out of this landing phase very strong, because they're going to have to win this game in about half an hour if they're going to win it at all, I think. I mean, their strategy basically depends on them hemming the Legion side into their base, pushing down all sorts of towers, taking team fights, and using that to take advantage and take control of the resources here and get a lot more farming than their opponents. Because in order to out-carry Puppet Master and Solstice, this Pestilence is going to have to get a ton of stuff. Meanwhile, here up in the top lane, Engineer will just barely get away. In the meantime, Zane trapping Pestilence here. He's also going to take the stun, though, but Solstice coming right back in. Wrath of the Fair going to help, but the nice Rhapsody ultimate stops that. Master coming in from the side, actually, will get the kill onto Pestilence. Strings go down as well onto Rhapsody, and Keeper of the Forest not able to do too much. So they know he's here. They definitely saw him in Viz, but he will be able to run away. It looks like, as the Legion side have no vision. Dust of Revelation actually on Pharaoh, but already used, and they didn't spot him. Bottom lane actually pro-bus goes down, as they catch him with at least a Kraken, and that's going to be a kill. Kraken there. That was close. But anyway, there's something happened up here with Pestilence Rhapsody. That can't happen. I mean, they can't get caught out like that, and the Legion side does have the better gank, so if it comes to small engagements and small skirmishes, most of the time I think the Legion will come out ahead. And so they need to start grouping up right about now. Jump there by Pestilence, already in possession of the portal key, puts the bugs down as well. Nice Puppet Show there onto Rhapsody, but it doesn't even matter. And as Kraken comes in from the side, double damage Rune helping out quite a lot. Middle lane, so we're going to see 4 and now 5 group up. And this is exactly what they need to do. Teleport coming in here from Magnus, who does have his portal key as well. No Eruption quite yet, about a minute and a half until that's going to be available. But this should be a middle tower kill. And we'll see if they can catch Magnus out here. That's how because they have fake Pestilence. Down goes the middle tower. Keep pushing, yeah. I mean, if the Legion side is not going to respond to this aggression, then they absolutely need to keep pushing. And they might need to keep pushing even if they do respond to the aggression. So this is exactly how the Hellborn need to play their lineup. And I applaud them for doing so. Jump, meanwhile, in the background onto Magnus. He's actually going to take the Puppet Show, but here's the Voodoo Puppet onto one. Nice initiation from Zane, hitting pretty much everybody, but the dance floor is down, doing a lot to save them. We'll see if Kraken can live here. He's getting away just enough health. Pestilence also going to be very, very low, but he looks like he's going to live. Solstice has got some sort of... Nope. And meanwhile, actually, they do catch out Mr. Kraken here. Solstice trying to stop Keeper of the Forest. They do see him somehow, I think. No, maybe not. Just going to miss there with Zane's rocket. So they do end up getting 1 kill onto Kraken, and they will stop the aggression. Meanwhile, off the side here, Rhapsody getting caught by Magnus, and we'll see if they can continue to follow this up. Illuminate comes out from Solstice, and does he have the range to get a stun off? Yep, he does, on top of the Lava Surge. So Rhapsody and Mitsubishi actually turns it around into Probusk. That dance floor doing so much, and now Solstice all of a sudden in a lot of trouble. Gets the bugs down. Pestilence going to drop the stun as well. We'll see if the Puppet Show can do anything here. Ultimate from Solstice will not do much thanks to the Rhapsody ultimate being channeled there, stopping all sorts of damage into this Pestilence. Not quite enough, but kept him alive for way too long. Now perhaps going to be able to turn this onto Zane. Release the Kraken gets dropped onto him. He's not getting too much, but the charge back will pick him off. Meanwhile, Jarl, actually on the Keeper of the Forest, dies to Puppet Master, who is just sort of randomly coming in. But cleanup fight actually from the Hellborn side, not too bad, as they pick off both Pharaoh and Magnus. They once again lose Kraken and Keeper of the Forest and Pestilence, but they at least clean up a couple of kills. 3 for 2 is better than 1 for nothing. On the other hand, the Legion side are obviously quite content to slow the Hellborn's push and to slow their mid-game aggression. Meanwhile, Eruption going down to the bottom lane will kill Cersei. So, obviously, an hero that has some nice escape mechanisms in that Deceive, but a giant slow and an enormous AoE is not going to do too much to help you out. Solstice, meanwhile, going to charge in the middle as Puppet Show goes on to Kraken. Also going to take the Keg Stun and the Strings. He's going to be in some trouble. Energy Field's there, but this can actually get the kill as he tries to charge through it. So nice pick there onto Kraken. Port was coming in middle. I think Zane was setting up for Wrath of the Pharaoh if they managed to find somebody. Rhapsody is here, but obviously they cannot see her. And Invis ring be picked up here by Zane. Throws a rocket to Scout and won't actually find anybody. Bottom lane Keeper of the Forest is Invis, and he's actually going to head all the way back. Adro here getting spotted by Keeper, who has a root. We'll see if he uses it. Yeah, he's going to drop it for Engineer here. Little aggressive, and I don't think they're going to get the kill. Immobilize actually will hit. Well done. Turret goes out though as well, and they will finally pick off Adro. But Wrath of the Pharaoh coming in here on top of the Voodoo Puppet. Nice ultimate from Rhapsody. Immediately is stopped up at Lunson from Probusk here. Kraken going to be in a lot of trouble, charging away, trying to live, but it's not going to happen. Release the Kraken actually will stop that. No, Rocket from Zane finishes him off. Rhapsody going to be the next one to fall actually as Magnus here comes in. One more auto attack. No, one more auto attack. And a nice hero block there from Cube of the Forest. Meanwhile, off to the side here, we're going to see if Pestilence can fall. Yes, he will. The illusion gets killed, and Probusk here looking for the initiation. Actually, excellent invis there as Cube of the Forest helping his buddy out. Also going to try to run away here, trying to live, and it looks like he will do so. Dust of Revelation available on Engineer, of course, but he is dead and all the way back to the base. And that's going to be the end of that engagement. So pretty crazy team fight actually going down there. It's both sides with a bunch of heroes that just barely got away. Rhapsody in particular being so close to death. Kraken almost living, as I believe he did get finished off. Yeah, he did. Rocket, I forgot. Zane picking up a double tap, of course. Solstice here stealing some Ancients. So, not bad there at all. And of course, prevents the next ones from spawning as well. Notable, the Probusk is at 365 gold per minute, so he's doing quite well for himself. So looks like he's picking up a Storm Spirit. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, charge forward on top of the Pestilence Stun, and he will be in some trouble. Lava Surge away. Kegsen also hits. Immobilize not going to connect, and he'll be able to Portal Key away. Adro going to get the stun on him, but also drops the energy field, and will be alright. As he is able to facilitate Probusk's escape, and that was nicely played. All sorts of teleports used there in the middle lane, trying to pick off that kill, of course, and they will not be available for a while. And all of a sudden, Reason Gaming here opening up a 3.5k, 7k golden experience lead. And Hellborn have moved away from what they needed to do. I was stretching this early on, and they were doing it. They were pushing lanes down, and that was really great. Meanwhile, here in the bottom lane, got a jump from Probusk onto Keeper of the Forest, gets dusted out. We'll see if he can actually survive here. Nice immobilized there onto Magnus, and that's going to be the end of the aggression for Legion side, but not for the Hellborn side as they jump in with Pestilence, with stun. Lava Surge onto 2. Ultimate from Cersei being channeled. He steals Puppet Master. In the meantime, though, 2 fall in the background of Keeper of the Forest and Pestilence. Kraken going to charge forward here onto, actually that's Solstice. Nice ult in the background from Rhapsody, preventing all the damage from the Blue Puppet, but not enough. Eruption coming in here as well. Will look to finish her off. Release the Kraken is going to catch 2, and she has once again almost no health. We'll see if she can live. No, she cannot. They will finally pick off Kraken as well, and nobody in the Legion side dying. All of a sudden, Hellborn are in a really, really bad position. 7.5k gold, 12.5k experience. Legion side are now taking the aggression on the push. They're going to be pushing down the secondary tower here, and I don't think they're going to be able to defend from the Hellborn. I believe the glyph has already been used. Even if it hasn't, this is not going to be stopped, as they will get the last hit there. Amberblight picking it up, and he's at 433 gold per minute all of a sudden. So, the resources substantially in favor of the Legion side as a result of that last fight. And the Hellborn, I think, have to wonder at this point how much longer they can survive in this game. Because they're not pushing. I mean, they've got a push-oriented lineup. They've got a teamfight-oriented lineup, and they're not getting aggressive. They're getting jumped on. Obviously, Probus with the strong initiation from Magnus. Very, very nice. And the Legion side do have really good initiation. They're taking advantage of it. They know they're in the lead, and they're pressuring their opponents, who, at this point, can't be on the back foot. This is not a lineup that runs on the back foot. Solstice here looking to finish off a Shrunken Head. Obviously, Keeper of the Forest motivating that decision. Meanwhile, in the middle lane, strings and a stun onto Kraken, and he will fall. Middle lane now going to get pushed out, and that will be a tier 1 tower kill. In the middle of the woods, Circe Illusion will be spotted out by Magnus, but that's obviously a fake, and he's going to realize it pretty quickly. Dust goes down, trying to look to see if she's been using the Deceive, and she has not. Aggro placing a pretty interesting ward there, actually. What does that give a vision of exactly? This area, and it looks like this too. Does that block the camp? I don't think so. We'll see. Stack here going to be stolen by the Legion side. Obviously a good good little trick. Pestilence caught out on the side, and he will portal key and TP away. So there go the Ancients there. And this is the creep CC vote coming out, and that's going to game.
Legion wins.
So one might think, oh yeah, that was a bit of a premature CC vote, a little odd timing. You know, it's not like it came at the end of a big team fight or at the end of a big push or something like that, but I think the Hellborn weren't wrong in this. I mean, they had a lineup that was supposed to be executed a certain way, and for a while they were doing it. You know, they weren't doing super badly in the laning phase, they weren't doing well, but it was definitely the point where they could have done something, and they were pushing stuff down, they were trying to take team fights, and all of a sudden they were on the back foot, and that's not how this lineup works. So game 1 here will go to Reason, as they executed their plan, I think, much, much better than the Hellborn side. And we'll see if Ogre can come back in game 2 with perhaps a little bit better execution and maybe even a little bit better plan, as to be totally honest, I didn't like the strategy from the beginning. I know it does work sometimes, but I don't think it's consistent enough. I don't think it's reliable enough. Anyway, Reason here takes the victory, and we'll move on to game 2.